White House Communications Director Stephen Chung is facing fresh backlash after once again using the R slur in a personal attack on a journalist. This time, Chung lashed out at Daily Beast Chief Content Officer Joanna after she and executive editor Hugh Doherty discussed the impending departure of White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt, along with several other recent exits from the West Wing. On Friday's episode of the Daily Beast podcast, Coles and Doherty discussed possible personal and institutional reasons behind Leavitt's departure, beyond her stated explanation that she wants to spend more time with her family. And that discussion prompted a response from the White House. When a Daily Beast reporter contacted the White House for comment, Chung fired back directly, calling Coles an R slur who had no idea what was happening inside the White House. Chung did not immediately respond after being told that the Daily Beast would be highlighting his language in a separate report. And this isn't the first time Chung has used the same slur against people in politics and the media. He has previously directed it at members of Congress and a Senate staffer. His feud with Coles also goes back months. Last April, Coles questioned claims surrounding Donald Trump's alleged weight loss. Chung responded by attacking her personally, accusing her of suffering from Trump derangement syndrome and mocking her intelligence. Coles later called him out for repeatedly recycling the same insults. Last January, when a reporter asked about the then 79-year-old president's health, the reporter was branded mentally ill. And months earlier, Chung twice misgendered a male reporter in an on-the-record response. Chung's latest outburst comes as Karoline Leavitt's White House exit fuels fresh speculation. Reports linked her to Trump's controversial Türkiye decoy-plane operation, with Leavitt reportedly among staff and reporters aboard the aircraft while Trump was secretly moved to another jet during his July trip.
Karoline Leavitt's shock White House departure is being dragged into a bizarre new controversy after reports revealed she was among more than 100 staffers and reporters left aboard an Air Force One decoy plane during Donald Trump's secret escape from Turkey. Leavitt announced that she will leave her position as White House press secretary at the end of August, just weeks after returning to the job following maternity leave. The 28-year-old had been one of Trump's most aggressive and loyal defenders from the White House briefing room, and that is exactly why the timing of her departure has triggered so much speculation online. The incident happened during Trump's July trip to Turkey for the NATO Leaders Summit. According to reports, Trump was initially seen publicly boarding Air Force One at Ankara Airport, but behind the scenes, the U.S. president was reportedly moved away from the aircraft as security officials dealt with concerns over a potential Iranian threat.
Well, it's only up to Secret Service. I just follow what they'd like to do. So I go by Secret Service and the military. They wanted me to go on a different flight, a different plane. Equal safety, but they wanted me to do it, so I do it. I do what they say.
Why did they want you to do that?
I guess there was a threat out there. I didn't really ask them much about it. I get a lot of threats.
Turkey flight, Air Force One still flew out of Turkey with press and with White House officials on it. How much?
Well, this one went over to England, where it was shown to the soldiers.
They're still at risk, even though.
No, I know, but this one went over to England because the soldiers wanted to see it.
Right.
And it stopped, and they showed it to the soldiers, and we did a switch over there. And it was really as per the military, and I just have to do what they say. They go for safety, and I have to do what they say.
Why was it too dangerous for you to fly on Air Force One, but not too dangerous
I
for the
think
press?
actually the plane that I flew on was at greater risk.
Why
I think
do you
it was
say
at
that?
greater risk because that would be the plane I think that they would be more likely to go for.
The operation was allegedly concealed using an airport catering truck. Meanwhile, staff and members of the press pool were left believing that Trump was still aboard the main Air Force One aircraft. That aircraft then operated as a decoy, and according to CBS News, more than 100 staff members and reporters were aboard that plane, including Karoline Leavitt. A video has since surfaced appearing to show Leavitt aboard the Air Force One decoy aircraft at Ankara Airport on the evening of July 8th. That revelation has now added fuel to the online theory surrounding her sudden departure. The theory is dramatic. Did Leavitt discover that she and other passengers were being left aboard a plane that could potentially have been targeted while Trump was secretly whisked away to safety? There is no confirmation that this is why Leavitt resigned. There is also no public evidence establishing that Leavitt believed she had been deliberately put in danger. But that has not stopped social media from connecting the dots. One post claimed the episode showed Trump's loyalty only goes one way. Another called the timing interesting, pointing out that Leavitt was aboard the decoy aircraft and is now preparing to leave the White House. And some critics went even further, accusing Trump of cowardice and arguing that his security operation effectively left journalists and staff behind as potential decoys. One post claimed the episode proved Trump had no problem walking over others as long as he avoided danger himself. Those are online reactions and allegations, not established facts, but the circumstances surrounding the flight switch are real enough to raise questions. While he was quietly moved to a military jet over an alleged Iranian threat, reporters and staff were left aboard a decoy Air Force One. Trump's secret escape from Turkey is now raising explosive questions.
President Donald Trump's secret flight switch has been exposed after a bombshell Washington Post report revealed an extraordinary decoy operation during his July trip from Turkey. CNN host Caitlin Collins aired footage appearing to show Trump boarding Air Force One before reportedly leaving through an elevated catering truck and transferring to a smaller U.S. Air Force C-32A military jet. The operation reportedly followed an apparent Iranian assassination threat, with Trump's movements being kept hidden from reporters and even some White House officials. And here's where the story gets even more bizarre. Journalists and some White House staff members were still aboard Air Force One when the plane flew from Turkey to Britain on July 8th. They had no idea that Trump was no longer on board, meaning they were effectively serving as unwitting decoys. The journalists who were physically on that aircraft confirmed they had been kept completely in the dark, according to the Washington Post. That revelation has sparked a furious reaction online, with people questioning why the aircraft was allowed to take off in the first place if the threat was considered serious enough to secretly move the president. Some asked, why not simply stage a mechanical problem and safely delay the flight instead of allowing the original aircraft carrying journalists and staff to continue flying? Even TMZ's Harvey Levin, who reportedly spoke to someone involved in the situation, apparently didn't understand why a fake mechanical problem wasn't used instead, or why actual people had to be left aboard as decoys. And social media users were absolutely brutal. One person wrote that Trump was not only a coward, but had purposely placed dozens of innocent people in danger just so he could pull off his Houdini act. Another wrote that Trump let the press, pilots, and staff stay on the plane to potentially get shot down before sarcastically asking, "Wow, what a hero." A third user went even further, writing that Trump treats everyone around him as expendable cannon fodder while he sneaks away like a rat. Real leaders don't sacrifice their own people to save their skin. Another commenter turned their anger toward the Secret Service, writing that the agency doesn't give two shits about anyone else except the protectee. One post asked just how big of a coward Trump had to be to hide in a food truck while potentially sending people to their deaths before launching into a series of other attacks against the president. The unusual flight switch has now raised a much bigger question. And why use a plane full of journalists and staff as the apparent distraction instead of staging a simple mechanical issue and finding another way to protect the president? Notably, just hours before that secretive flight switch, Trump was already describing Iran as a serious threat and telling NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte that he remained at the very top of Tehran's target list.
I don't think they know what the hell they're doing. They're bad people, very bad people. I think they're incompetent, by the way. Because if they were competent, they would have made a deal a long time ago, like about 47 years ago. So they've been in trouble for 47 years. And we took out their first set of leaders. We took out their second set of leaders. They want to take out the U.S. leader, me. I'm on every list. I saw a thing this morning. I'm on every single one of their lists. And so far, I guess I've been really lucky, but that maybe doesn't last very long because that's the way it goes. We have great people. But these are evil, sick people, and we have to rid their cancer. Cancer. You know what you do? You got to cut out cancer early. Man, that's the way I feel.
And during a separate media address that same day, Trump returned to the subject, talking about the dangers that come with being president, and again claiming that Iran considers him its number one target.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, Tyler Pager with the New York Times. Last month, you said Iranian leaders were very rational people, nice people to deal with, strong people, smart people. Today, you said they were scum, sick people, and being led by sick people. What changed, and do you think...
I got to know them. So, I've said that about a lot. Now, when you say rational, I think they're much more rational than level 1, level 2. Level 1 is gone, level 2 is gone. This is level 3. I think they are more rational, but based on their actions over the last week or two, they're not doing a service to the people. And I think more than anything else is I got to know them. And I'm not sure I want to make a deal with them. We can play games, but I'm not sure I want to make a deal. Let's just finish the job. Yeah, please, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'd like you to address speculation that you're leaving Ankara not in the new Air Force One because of security concerns involving Iran. You've spoken today twice about them possibly assassinating you and possibly being successful. Did that concern have something to do with it?
Well, I speak about it a lot because, you know, the life of a president is very dangerous. It's 5.2%. You know what a race car driver is? 1/10 of 1%. A bull rider, that looks pretty dangerous to me. It's 1/10 of 1%. No, it's 5.2% is you don't make it. You should have told me you're an excellent reporter. You should have told me that years ago. Maybe I wouldn't have run. It's a very dangerous profession. No, I'm number one on the kill list for Iran. They're lovely people. I'm number one. So I don't know. I can't tell you that, but I don't really care because I'm doing my job and I'm doing it, I hope, better than anybody's ever done it because we have a country that's hot and really, really successful. But I mention it only because it's on the list. I mean, it came out. There was another list came out yesterday, and I'm number one on. I like being number one on TikTok better, but I'm number one on the list for killing. Go ahead.
Hey, Sean McCreesh, New York Times. But why aren't you flying the new plane home?
Say what?
Why aren't you flying on the new Air Force One home?
It's flying to Europe, to one of the big bases, 2 or 3 of the big bases where we can show it to the people. And we'll be going home by normal methods. But we have it going to Europe to a couple of bases, actually one in particular, but it's going to go to a couple of bases, stop, so the soldiers can see it because it's truly magnificent.